So we've written our summaries, we've chosen our topics, we have written our summaries, and now we're ready for the fun part, the part where we give our opinion about something. And so before we can do that, before you can form an opinion or share your opinion about this topic, you really need to think about like what are the important things in it. So like for me, when I was telling you about the movies, I was like, oh, it has to be funny, it has to have a good plot, it has to pass the bathroom test. Like those are the important kind of criteria for it, for determining if I liked it or if I didn't. So I made a list of things that were important for me for a coworker. So when I was thinking about, it's almost like a want ad. So today on a scrap piece of paper, I'm going to ask you to jot down whatever it is that you're choosing to review. If it's like a book, what are your must-haves for a book? If it's a movie, your must-haves for a movie. If it's a meal or a dinner or some kind of food, like what are your must-haves for this food? If it's an athlete, like what are the qualities that you look for in somebody that you would look up to? Or what makes a person a good athlete. I chose to do a coworker, right, a teammate, Ms. Lyons. And so I had to stop and ask myself what were the important things that I would value or look for in a teammate. And so here's the list that I came up with. So I decided first and foremost, for me, a teammate, somebody that I'm going to work with, has to be somebody that likes kids. You would think that is a given, but I have worked with people that you could tell didn't really enjoy their jobs and didn't enjoy kids and being with kids, and that's miserable for anybody. So a number one thing for me is that I'm working with somebody who likes kids. I also, for me, really important is somebody who is funny, somebody who can make a joke, and somebody who can take a joke as well. I want to work with somebody who has similar, doesn't have to be exactly the same, but similar views on teaching. For me, it's important to have somebody that will call me out, that will tell me when I'm wrong, but do it in a nice, like, constructive way. I look for somebody that I kind of like I would want to hang out with them and be friends with them outside of just school, like, and talk to them like throughout my day and on the weekend. Somebody who's trustworthy, somebody who is a hard worker. I don't want to have to carry the load for everybody. And I think really important too, somebody who's honest with me, with the kids that we work with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this list and then I'm going to do some thinking about Mrs. Lyons. And for my opinion piece, I'm going to write a paragraph about how she either meets these qualities or doesn't meet these qualities. And remember, I told you that if you're writing about a person, it really needs to be something positive. So I'm going to give you a little reveal here, a little shocker. To me, Mrs. Lyons, when I was writing about this, she meets all of these things. So in my review paragraph, my opinion paragraph about her, I might start my paragraph, I would recommend Mrs. Lyons as a teammate, or I would recommend Mrs. Lyons to teach with because, and then I might say things because I wouldn't even say she likes kids, I would say she loves kids. And I would probably write an example about how she hugs everybody. I would also put on there that she is funny. You guys have been in my class where she's come in and made those weird faces or just stops and stares and does crazy things, and you sit in class with her too. So I could give an example of she's a great teammate because she's super funny, and give some examples of some funny things that she's done. We do have similar views on teaching, and I'll tell you this, she tells me when I am wrong, and she does it in a way that I don't get mad and I don't get upset, and I appreciate it. So I might explain that. I definitely would hang out with her outside of school. We spend a lot of time texting and talking over the weekends and over the summers. She is trustworthy. I would trust her with my life. I would trust her with my deepest, darkest secret. She is a very hard worker. She would do anything for kids, and she is super honest. So in my paragraph, I'm going to recommend her. I'm going to say I would suggest Mrs. Lyons as a coworker or a teammate, and then these would be the things that I would write about. And so I'm going to go ahead and start a paragraph and show you what that might look like on the next slide. And then for today, I'm going to ask you to go back to the document that you opened up yesterday. It's still in your Google Drive. You can still access it through the Schoology assignment. Just hit unsubmit, and I'm going to ask you to add your opinion paragraph about your book, your movie, your person, your meal, your food, your athlete, whatever it is that you chose to review.